A spectacular sight that hasn't been seen in more than a decade.
Oh, that's awesome.
A solar eclipse makes a fiery ring in the sky over 8 states from Oregon to Texas.
It's just, I can't explain it. It's so beautiful.
Millions have one shot to soak up this rare treat that won't be seen again until 2039.
A lot of folks who see the eclipse today will probably want to see another one.
Who will score a few magical moments?
And who will get shut out by Mother Nature?
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare cloud build in front of me. Special eclipse coverage right now on the Weather Channel.
And welcome into our special coverage of the solar eclipse. Our team of meteorologists is spread out across the path of annularity, and we will give you minute-by-minute coverage of the annular solar eclipse. I'm in Fort Klamath, and clouds permitting, we will bring it to you in less than a half hour from here. And here in Fort Klamath, I'll tell you, the clouds this morning, we had clear skies. We had a few clouds, but we were seeing stars when we first arrived here today. We had a clear view of Venus, which is in the sky behind me with a great clearing in the clouds. And now we've got this cloud deck of altocumulus clouds that have moved on in. They have gotten a little thicker. I will tell you that in the last, half hour. But I will also say that they appear to be very temporary because we do have some clearing that is out there as well, off to our southwest, which is the direction that the clouds are moving from. So I am optimistic. You know me, I'm very optimistic that we will get a chance to see it. I'm in Fort Klamath. I'm here at Eclipse Fest, and we've got folks here from around the country and around the world, really, to see the annular solar eclipse. This is something that won't be seen in the lower 48 until 2046. So quite some time until we get the last opportunity to see an annular solar eclipse, which will create that ring of fire around the sun when we get to annularity, which will happen at 9:17 and 58 seconds right here in Fort Klamath, Oregon. The eclipse is moving fast. When it exits Oregon, it'll be moving at more than 3,000 miles per hour, heading to Nevada. And that's where, of course, we find Chris Bruin. And Chris, what are you seeing right now? Are you getting the partial?
We are getting close to the ring of fire towards annularity. We're about 25 minutes away. I'm going to stare at it really quickly because it's moving quickly, guys. I mean, it is beautiful, and this is such great photo ops. It almost looks like a crescent moon, but that's actually the sun that looks like the crescent. One thing that we are noticing here in Ely is look at the shadows. They're showing that crescent look, and if you look at them, you can see that here. It's almost like a crescent, and you're starting to get that, and that will change as the moon continues to eclipse the sun. And another thing that we're going to be keeping a close watch on here is that temperature drop. And even though it won't go completely dark like it does in a total solar eclipse, we'll see dimmed lighting like you would expect at sunrise or sunset, and enough of a temperature drop, especially in a high elevation place like Ely, Nevada, sitting at about 6,400 feet, and a dry climate. Those temperatures may drop 5 to almost 7, maybe 8 degrees in that 4-minute time span during peak annularity, which is only a little over 20 minutes away, and we've got perfect viewing conditions here for the event in Ely, Nevada. Let's jump down the road a little bit, go to New Mexico. They'll be a few minutes behind, and expecting incredible conditions there at such an incredible time. I mean, timing this out, Jim, with the Balloon Festival in Albuquerque and an eclipse on a Saturday morning. I mean, could you have picked a better forecast or spot?
No, that's why I begged to do this coverage, to be honest with you, because I wanted to be a part of this. I was here back in 1999 to be a part of it again, of course, with having the eclipse. Perfecto, all right? So we're about 33 minutes from annularity right now, okay? Take a look at where we're at with it. I'm going to get a quick look here with these welder's goggles, and we're almost half right now. And I'm kind of looking out without them. And there's a little bit of a change in the sun, but like Chris was talking about, the fact that we have such a dry climate out here in the west, we could actually see a temperature drop around 10 degrees because we're going to spend 4 minutes and 42 seconds in annularity. So we're going to drop, and that's a pretty good drop, but that's what happens when you have a dry climate. You warm up quick, you cool down pretty quick. But we'll be here again, guys, right around 10:35 for annularity, 4 minutes, 42 seconds. All right, down the road, they're going to get it a little longer than we are. Alex Wilson in San Antonio, who will not only get this one, but you'll get the totality, the total solar eclipse next April.
Yeah, it's kind of the X marks the spot, right? They've been really excited here in San Antonio, and a lot of people have come in. You mentioned, Jim, the Southwest, known for having, that very dry climate, and we've hoped for that. And we do have some cloud cover, if I'm being honest. So we've seen the partial eclipse in bits and pieces right now. But as we look off towards the west, where that cloud deck is coming from, it is a little bit more sparse. So I do think we'll see more open pockets here as we approach annularity. For us, we've got a little under 50 minutes to go. So 11:52 local time to 11:56 with the peak around 11:54. That would be when that's that perfect ring of fire. So if we can get that cloud break, then that would be ideal. It is dry out here. We've seen dew points into the upper 30s. It is much cooler than yesterday. So with all the people here at the Scobie Planetarium and Educational Center, the weather has actually been very cooperative. The only thing is it's a little bit breezy. So, watching for that. But everybody's holding on tight to those paper glasses and ready to go. Paul Goodlow, Corpus Christi, what do we got going on down there?
We've got the same wind, maybe even stronger down here, Alex, although you're not getting blasted like sand like I am here. But like you, we have cloud cover. We did see some sun earlier. We saw the beginning of the partial eclipse about 26 past the hour. But right now we have a lot more cloud cover. But there is hope as we kind of look across the horizon here. We are seeing pockets of blue sky. The annularity, the total annularity begins at 11:58. So we still have, looks like another 53 minutes to get some of these clouds out. So, the last 20 minutes, clouds came in. Hopefully they'll move out and we can actually see that 90% obscurity of the sun with this annular eclipse. So looking forward to it. We had a cold front that came through that kicked up the winds, dropped the temperature, dropped the humidity, but gave us this cloud cover. So the timing of that front might feel good on your skin, but not the best for the viewing of the sky here. But it's still, unique here because we will have the maximum length of annularity here in Corpus or Mustang Island. Just over 5 minutes of that ring of fire, Jen. It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but an extra minute compared to say where you are, it's a difference for sure. And I'm very curious to see what that does to our temperature. We have the drier air, we have the wind, so I think we can really notice that drop in that energy coming in from the sun. Jen?
Yeah, no, Paul, just rubbing it in that you have a longer totality or annularity than I have. You do, and I have about 3 minutes and 20-some seconds of annularity if we get to see it, clouds permitting, and we're both running into that same situation right now with what's happening in the sky. I mean, these clouds have been moving like they have been for Paul, Corpus Christi. My clouds have been moving as well, although it just seems like more keep moving in to replace them. I've been watching the clearing out there, and it's it gives me all the emotions here, and definitely all the stress, and everyone's feeling it. Everyone's standing out, just looking up. Just everyone's looking to see what we might see. Now, for Paul in Corpus Christi, the eclipse is going to be slowing down. I'll put that in quotes by the time it gets there. That's why they get more annularity. So it'll be it was moving at 7,000 plus miles per hour when it came on the coast of Oregon, slowing down to about 3,500 miles per hour when it reached out of Oregon into Nevada. And so as it goes further south away from the pole, it's going to reduce in speed. Still moving very fast throughout its entire stretch, but it'll move its fastest when it was closest up to the pole, and then it'll decrease in that forward speed as it moves a little bit further to the south, as it crosses down across the United States, the Gulf of Mexico, Central America, South America, and eventually ending over the Atlantic. So here in Fort Klamath, it really has been a stressful forecast, and I would say, Oregon is maybe not known to be the most likely spot to get to see it. We know this time of year we start to get into our weather patterns where these storms come in off the northern Pacific, but I've been optimistic, and we had a perfectly clear day on Wednesday. We also had a perfectly clear day on Thursday. On Friday we had a perfectly clear day. This morning it would have been perfect about 2 hours ago, and so we will see. My fingers crossed. We're getting close to that time of annularity, 9:17 17 and 58 seconds is when we start. And then we still have opportunity to see parts of the partial eclipse too until about 10:40 this morning. And that's really the case across the country. You all have the chance to see at least a partial eclipse. And that's one, I think, of the beautiful things about this particular annular eclipse is that it crosses so much of the country. The annularity, yes, is going to be just a thin stripe going through 8 states from Oregon through Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, and into Texas. But the chance for a partial is really across all of the lower 48 and even part of Alaska as well. And so that's quite exciting, I think. This path of the solar annular eclipse takes it through so many national parks, 25 different sites actually that go from Oregon all the way through Texas. And just north of me is Crater Lake, which I know another spot that people are there surrounding and lined up to see today. And I'm hoping that maybe they have a little different sky, which can vary, of course, even just, 40 minutes away. So it's exciting times here. We are waiting, fingers crossed, that we'll get a little bit of clearing in the next couple of minutes to see this. Let's go back down though to Albuquerque, where the skies are perfectly clear. And Jim Cantore, I have to say, that is the destination to be in. You've got the clear skies, you've got the balloons, and you've got all the people.
Jen, hang with me for 1 second. First of all, you mentioned Crater Lake. I was there during the Weather Channel's 25th anniversary. I remember it very, very well. That was awesome. Number 2, if I could send a bunch of aircraft out there to your southwest and go up and down through that cloud layer, maybe we could get a hole punch for you? What do you think?
That would be awesome. Yeah, call him up, Cantore.
I know. I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. All right, yeah, we appreciate that. Again, guys, we're sitting here, oh my gosh, 25 minutes from Annularity, and you could not ask for better sky conditions. If you look off to my east, which is, of course, where the sun's not going, at this point, there are some high clouds out there, so we're not too concerned about that. But I want to show you these 3 different angles. You can see behind me what's going on. We got about 100,000 people here, which is absolutely nuts. This is the 51st annual Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque, which has grown precipitously, to say the least. 13 balloons back in 1972. 13. In 2000, they had over 1,000 balloons, and they had to whittle that down to about 550, which is present day. And to see all these go up at once and then get caught in really what this morning was an Albuquerque box, a weird one because the southerly winds took all the balloons to the south, then they went up, got the northerly winds, which were very, very light, which took them back toward the field. So really, really cool. All right, I'm going to put these welder's goggles on. We're about halfway right now. We got about a half moon, or half sun, I should say, kind of blocking things out. It looks like a half moon because of the way it's blocked out. But it's kind of amazing. It's going to accelerate from here. And if you think about it, with this thing moving at 2,677 miles an hour, the moon shadow that is, it's going to happen in a hurry. So we're within that 3 hours of eclipse time that we have, which started at about 9:13 local time and ends at about 12:09. So nearly 3 hours. And it's interesting, if you missed this one in Albuquerque, the next one's 375 years from now in Albuquerque. The next annular is June 21st, 2039. So that's what we've got going on. Everybody's kind of sitting and watching. I see some people without their glasses, some without, with them. I hope everybody's taking care of their eyes. That's for sure. All right, Chris Bruin, like me, you are in a dry climate. So when that sun is mostly blocked, we're going to see a little bit of a temperature drop, aren't we, buddy?
Oh, yeah, and I'm keeping our eyes. We got a temperature sensor over here, and we're monitoring it. We're about 39 degrees right now, so I'm curious to see how far we get during Annularity, which, by the way, is about 10 minutes, about 11 minutes to be exact. It starts here at 9:23 and will last approximately 3 minutes and 43 seconds in full Annularity. That's when we get the maximum amount of the sun covered. We'll get the ring of fire. And you mentioned, Jim, that it was going to be about half, you see about half the sun. We have about 3/4 of sun blocked now, so it's happening quickly, and we can take our path. There's the Ely path. Look at it. It's like a very small crescent sliver. I was trying to get my tongue tied. I'm trying not to look at the sun too, but there we go. And look at the people here. This is a scene, guys. Not only do we have the trains that are actually out for the Eclipse train, this is a historic site in Nevada. Trains are a huge part of the the economy, but also the history here. And all these people, some are locals, but a lot of people came traveling in. They expect the town to about double in size because of this event. And it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Annularity is coming up, guys. It is going to be an experience. And a lot of people, especially those with the high tech, a lot of scientists really use this time to really study things about the sun. Because unlike in a total solar eclipse where the sun's completely blocked, you can see enough of a sliver, and with the right filters, you can learn a lot about that edge sun, the corona, and then also the moon. And hopefully we get to see Bailey's beads. But as we take you to break, let's leave you with the beautiful scene here in Ely, Nevada, because we are about 10 minutes away from Annularity. The trains are coming in. In fact, if you can, Rodney, if we can pan this way, you might be able to see it a little bit. You can see the smoke and the blue sky. That's the steam engine right there behind the tree. Ely, Nevada. Perfect conditions and full coverage continues when we come back after the break.
It's just not right. Nah, I need to try something new.
You gonna quit rap for a triangle?
I gotta do me, Missy.
America has a case of triangle fever.
Jack Harlow did it again.
Ting, ting, ting.
Doritos, try another angle.
Lowe's knows you want the best quality products for the best price. And when you save more on the things you need, you can get more of the things you want. That's why if you find the same product for less, we'll match it. Shop now with the confidence of our lowest price guarantee.
Scramble your morning with new Oscar Mayer Scramblers.
Did you guys remember Career Day last year? Elaine Hartzell came as a Hershey's taste tester. Well, I told Hershey about that. Seeing the way that Hershey's had made the dream come true has just really been exciting.
With the Venture X card from Capital One, you earn 2 times miles on every purchase.
The noise canceling. You're being too loud. Good choice. My lucky number.
Plus, earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel. What's in your wallet?
Ready to feel what it's like when you can do more with less asthma? It's possible with Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Are you in? Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
Big tea drinker?
Yeah.
There's a podcast about tea.
He knows, and he wants you to know too.
I was listening to a podcast on if dogs know their dogs.
There's a podcast about that?
Just like he'd want you to know about Allstate.
There's a podcast about fly fishing called Why Is That Person Doing That? It's called Tea-rific.
Are you listening to a podcast?
Yeah, it's about multitasking.
Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know you're in good hands with Allstate.
The power of the Weather Channel, now available to everyone. Real-time radar, and so much more. Go to streamtwc.com to start your free 7.
From coast to coast, you've seen us around. We live and work in the communities we serve. Our commitment runs deep. We're invested here, creating good jobs and supporting small businesses, many of which we're proud to call customers. You count on us to keep you connected to what matters most. And we're committed to delivering you the best internet, TV, and mobile service. We're Spectrum, connecting the places we all call home.
Honey.
honey.
Dayquil Severe Honey. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste. Because life doesn't stop for a cold. Dayquil Honey. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, honeylicious power through your day medicine.
Let's go!
Leave running behind. The new turbocharged Volkswagen Atlas. Get 4.9% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2024 Atlas SE Tech 4 Motion or lease one for $459 a month. Limited inventory available.
2640.
Currently in our area, 51 degrees with rainy conditions. Today, periods of rain. High 53. Rainfall around a ½ inch. Locally heavy rainfall possible. Tonight, rain. Low 48. Rainfall near a ¼ inch. Sunday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 59. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Start your engines.
Okay, boys, we're rolling.
Heroes hit the highway.
We're bringing out all the big guns for this one.
Unimaginable conditions.
You never know what you're going to do next.
Simplest things become twice as hard.
And jaw-dropping rescues.
Oh, this is a real mess.
It's tragic. Catch exciting episodes of Highway Through Hell and Heavy Rescue 401.
Here we go.
The truck stops here. The Weather Channel Road Warriors Week. All week long, starting Monday at 8/7 Central. Only on the Weather Channel.
Here in Fort Klamath, Oregon, we are right now approaching annularity. There are clouds that are covering the sun, but it is very apparent that annularity is happening. The sky overall has dimmed. A darkness has set in. Now we can't see the shadow of the moon over the sun. We can't see the ring of fire because of this big old batch of clouds out here. But it is a noticeable change in the atmosphere. It has gotten darker. You can really kind of see it when you just take a look out in the distance, and where we do have some clearing skies, you can kind of get a sense of how it's gotten darker. Sort of like you would have at dusk. So there's that, and there's also just the feel to the air. The temperature feels to have gotten a little bit colder. Now, I don't think that we're going to have as dramatic as a drop maybe in some spots where the air is drier. We definitely have a raw feeling to the air out here today, but we could lose a couple of degrees thanks to the moon crossing over the sun. We are going to have a total of 3 minutes and change of annularity. So there's still time for these clouds to move, although I'm not as optimistic anymore. I just feel like there's too many out there. But we still have then until after 10:40 this morning to see the partial. So there's still time for this eclipse to play out in some way for us here in Oregon. And I have to say, even just being a part of the annularity, and even though we're not getting to see the ring of fire, it's pretty neat to be out here with a group of other folks who, some are umbraphiles, meaning that they chase solar eclipses. Some are just here because they're interested, they're local, and they're just interested in joining the community and seeing the eclipse here today. Some have traveled from across the country, some have traveled from around the world. There's RVs set up, there's people in tents that are camping, and here at Eclipse Fest 2023, I would say it's quiet. I think if we had the ring of fire, I would certainly envision a lot of cheering. I just heard over the loudspeaker that now technically annularity has ended, so our option and opportunity for seeing that ring of fire is over. Next up would be the clouds clearing so that we could perhaps see some of the partial. We're just a few minutes away from Chris Bruin seeing annularity there in Nevada, in Ely, Nevada. So let's go back to him. And Chris, you have the blue sky, you've got the partial. How is it playing out, and how is the crowd handling it all?
You know, Jen, I wish you could see it. I can tell in your voice you're so excited. You, of all people, love space so much. But we've got another total eclipse. And even though you still got to experience that drop in temperature, because we're feeling that here like you are there.
Yeah, you know, Chris, and that was noticeable, the darkness and even the drop in temperature, and everyone was kind of, kind of whispering about it, like, oh yeah, it's feeling colder. I mean, that's noticeable, and I need to keep an eye out for maybe some changes in any animals, birds. I haven't seen a lot out here, but that's something that often happens during either annularity or totality, is that wildlife starts to get confused about what time it is.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to show everybody, Jen, one of the other things we've been noticing is shadows. Really quickly, we are about moments away from annularity, and look at the shadows really quickly right here on the ground. This tree, the way it's dispersed, it creates these little crescents. And Rodney, oh yeah, you can really see that. And look at it, that's the reflection of the sun mixed in with the shadows. And we've seen these crescents get smaller and smaller and smaller as we approach annularity, which is right about now. And notice the dim glow. I don't know if you can tell as much on camera, but I can certainly tell. It's almost like there's a HD lens that I'm looking at everything in. It's muted light. The temperature has dropped. I can now see my breath a bit because of that lower light a bit, and there's definitely been a drop in temperature. I'm hearing crowds. Let me look up at the sun. Oh, there we go. We got the Ring of Fire right there. You got the crowds behind us, and look at the Exploratorium. Here we go. We have just hit annularity right now. Wow, that is so cool. Look at that. Oh, man. So we'll be in this for a little over 3 minutes, about 3 minutes, 43 seconds to be exact. And how cool is that? Guys, that is live from the Exploratorium telescope right here in Ely, Nevada. The temperature made it to 43, but I bet you it has dropped at least a couple of degrees. And even though the majority of the sun is covered, you still have to have your eclipse glasses on. It's tempting to want to take them off and look at the sun, but it's so bright. It's so bright. But it's so cool to see that. Wow, just look at that here from the Great Basin in Nevada. And what a perfect day to experience this. In a place like Ely, we sit above 6,500 feet. Okay, so you get quite a contrast in temperatures. And in a dry climate, when you get dim lighting like this, you'll notice a drop. It certainly feels a lot cooler than it did when we were in partial eclipse. And the wavy shadows now, I haven't noticed anything with the animals. I haven't seen too many birds out this morning. It's still as can be. I mean, it is as quiet as can be outside. Aside from all the cheers of all the people, the majority of this town is out here right now experiencing this, many for the first time. And they've doubled in population. About 2,000 visitors or so are expected to come on in to the Ely area. But also remember, a lot of people are out camping, and the nearby national park, Great Basin National Park, has been a hot spot for people. There's so many cool spots that have been in the path of this annular eclipse that are just adds to the effect. Being out in such a serene setting and experiencing such a rare event, you're witnessing part of history. I know these happen oftentimes around the world, but the majority of them actually happen out over the ocean, where many can't see it unless it's a charted expedition. So when it actually comes over your hometown, it's a rare event, and it takes hundreds of years. Like Jim said, in Albuquerque, it'll be over 300 years before they have another eclipse like this overhead. Now, there'll be many other eclipses in the U.S., but a lot of them are going to be at least another decade away. We do have a total solar eclipse, though, that'll be just a few months from now into 2024 in April. And unlike the total solar eclipse, the annular solar eclipse is unique in the fact you get that ring of fire. So it doesn't go completely dark, but wow. Wow. Now, one thing that I don't know if you can necessarily see in the glasses, but I know telescopes can. They look for Bailey's beads, and those are the rays that actually penetrate the valleys of the moon and create these little bead-like structures. So I know a lot of scientists and astronomers are looking for those specific details. And when they say a ring of fire, man, it really does look like a ring of fire. We've been in annularity now for about 3 minutes, so things are ending here momentarily. momentarily. We've noticing a little bit more of a crescent there on the top right of the sun and a narrowing crescent there on the bottom left. So it's just about ending here for the Ring of Fire. But how cool was that? Definitely recapping what we just saw here in Ely, Nevada. We noticed a pretty substantial, noticeable drop in temperature for the past 10 minutes or so as we were approaching annularity. A dimmed glow. It almost looks like HD lenses, like when you put on, a filter, and it just, everything's so vivid and vibrant. Really quickly, Rodney, if we can just pan around and show the scenery. Just look at the skies, look at the hills, the mountains in the distance, the fall colors on the trees. They're incredible. And the timing of this, to be on a Saturday morning, is just phenomenal here. In fact, take a look at the golden yellows. Peak fall, by the way, for the Great Basin of Nevada. And the weather couldn't be better. Blue skies. We have a few high clouds, nothing that's blocked our obstruction. The weather couldn't be better here. Temperatures are pleasant. There's no wind. That's oftentimes a big threat. And many times you can even get snowstorms this time of the year. But we've got dry conditions. The flag is as still as can be. The trees are barely moving. But again, we've noticed that dimmed lighting. What a serene setting here in Ely, Nevada, to witness the Great American Eclipse. This is an annular eclipse. Unlike the total solar eclipse, the moon's far enough away where it doesn't completely block the sun, but you get that ring of fire effect, and that is oh so cool. All right, we are out of annularity now, and we're at that fourth contact as we start to approach now the ending partial, and then eventually we'll be in partial for another 45 minutes to an hour or so, and then the event is pretty much all done here in Ely, Nevada. But I think so many people are kind of just mesmerized, amazed, in awe, and thankful that they got to see it under such serene conditions and such a beautiful spot like here in the Great Basin. All right, now as far as I am away from Albuquerque, New Mexico, where Jim Cantori is, I mean, you're moments away now from experiencing annularity yourself. So what are conditions like there? Have you noticed a drop in temperature? Because we certainly have here. You could even see my breath at times like you were earlier this morning.
Absolutely a drop in temperature, and not to mention, Chris, what's really interesting here, because we get the cold air drainage that's coming down, from the Sandias and from the north, from Santa Fe, where you go up about 2,000 feet. We've also noticed the winds increasing from the north. So that is another feature that we got going on. The biggest thing I can tell, as you look at our different cameras here, is just how much dimmer it is. It's so much more dimmer than it was. I mean, we're about less than 6 minutes from the start of this thing, and then we're going to go into it for about 4 minutes and 42 seconds, just like you saw with Chris, going through annularity. We're going to have the perfect ring within that 4 minutes and 42 seconds, the perfect ring of fire, and then you kind of start going out of that. Let me take a quick look here, and it's kind of amazing. There's probably about a fifth of the light of the sun that's left. All right, so we're not obviously at annularity yet, but it's amazing how bright it still is, but yet how much dimmer it has gotten. All right, so what did I get? I had 54 degrees about 20 minutes ago. Now we're at 52. We could be colder than that. And like I said, you actually have a little bit of drainage coming down from the north as a result of not seeing the sun being as strong and mixing the ground and mixing it up here. Just so many amazing statistics. The moon shadow's moving at about 2,677 miles an hour here. That's hauling. But yet it looks like it's moving so slow, right? Because it's passing in front of a sun that's way from the Earth. Our next annual eclipse, in case you missed this one, you're going to have to wait till June 21st, 2039 to get that one. And of course, we have the big one coming up April next year, which is a total solar eclipse. Make sure you keep the glasses on if you're going to be looking up, because with the Ring of Fire, you're still getting about 9% of the sun that's coming down, and you can do some damage to your eyes. Earlier on, I don't know if you guys were watching us, but we had one of our scientists on from NASA, and she was talking about how the experiments they're going to do in the ionosphere. Now, the ionosphere is about 45 miles up. It's where they do, where the interaction with the Earth's ions occurs during the aurora borealis. That's about where that magic takes place, and they're going to be doing all sorts of experiments with that, and to see how that, if that, something like this, the eclipse, affects that ionosphere. So just really cool stuff going on, because let's face it, we don't get that many opportunities, especially here, to where the sun is actually being blocked almost fully by the moon. with the exception of, like I said, 9%. Looking out over the crowd, guys, I'm just going to take a quick scan. A lot of people looking up, a lot of people with their glasses. Most people actually do have the glasses on, which is awesome. That's what I like to see, and that's what we've been telling everybody about. But there isn't, one of the things I haven't seen since we got here, all the balloons that have been in the sky, all, you know, the planes and things like that, helicopters, drones, nothing. Nothing in the sky right now. Absolutely nothing in the sky right now. So everyone's here now to, I guess, enjoy the celestial part of what's going to be happening. And that, of course, is this annular eclipse. Let's see. I'm looking up. Not in annularity yet, but we are about 3 minutes from actually going into that. About 3 minutes. It's when the start of it. Remember, 4 minutes, 42 seconds after that will start coming out of it. So we'll see what kind of things happen in through here. I know the temperature's going to keep dropping. We'll probably get a big cheer from the crowd, you know, and that's something that is absolutely awesome. But to be here in Albuquerque for such a special balloon festival where you're talking about, you guys start to hear the cheers picking up? Hear it? Hear them start picking up? Yeah. So we're about 2 minutes now. 2 minutes. And I think where this place is going to go absolutely nuts. You can see our different cameras that we have. We got one on the crowd. Peak's camera is actually up at the moon right now. The dim light, the cool breeze coming down from the north. That's been with us all morning, but it's even stronger now. And you've actually seen the temperature drop at least 2 to 3 degrees from when it all started. That is just an awesome sight. That is just an awesome sight. We've almost got a full ring here. We've almost got a full ring. Still about a minute and a half or so from starting annularity here. Just an awesome sight. You know, it was really weird too, because for about a half hour there, the crowd was like getting really silent. Like, you know, the animals kind of quiet down, right? When you start getting into an eclipse, they quiet down because they think the sun's setting. Now you're starting to hear everybody picking up again. So, well, the animals will be going to sleep. Here we are as humans in awe of what's going on. Everybody's kind of getting animated again and looking forward to getting into annularity. So weird just looking out there at everybody just enjoying this wonderful, wonderful moment. And man, you just can't blame them here. Looking up, oh, we're close. We're close. Yeah, we're close. We're all, yeah, it's starting to happen. Listen. Yep, here we go. Into annularity right now. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at that beautiful ring. The Ring of Fire, ladies and gentlemen. We are in it here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. What an incredible sight. Oh, man. Oh, that's just perfect. And what's even more amazing is the moon shadow is moving over 2,000 miles an hour. And it just kind of looks like it's sitting there. And we'll be sitting in this for about 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Now less than that, obviously, about 4 minutes left. But what a beautiful, beautiful ring. The farther south you go, when we talk to Alex and Paul, they're going to have it even a little bit longer. They've got some pretty nice conditions, too, to deal with. Everybody's been dealing with the passage of this cold front. Jen, unfortunately, getting those altocumulus clouds to block things out for her. But, you know, you couldn't ask for someone with a greater spirit to be a part of that, that's for sure. And we'll get her that total eclipse next year, somewhere where the sun comes out. But look at this. Just incredible. Everybody cheering, just in awe. Make sure, remember, keep the glasses on, keep them on. You can't take these off. Like when you have a total solar eclipse, because there's still about 9% of the sun's light that is coming through here. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous sight. You're looking at Peak's camera right now. Still in annularity. A really beautiful, beautiful ring of fire here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to coincide with the 51st annual balloon fiesta and what is easily a record crowd of people out and through here. Wow. I'm just going to let you guys enjoy this. One of the things that's going on, I just wanted to share with you, is all of the balloon baskets with their fire are actually lighting up their flames right now at the same time that we're having annularity. with no baskets. You can see Brad panning over there right now. Currently at 52 degrees, so we've dropped a couple of degrees. But they did that this morning when we did the national anthem and the flyover, and that was just absolutely cool. So just kind of a celebration, if you will. If you're a balloonist, or if you know somebody who's a balloonist, that's just a good sign to see those flames, those eternal flames going up here as we're continuing to work our way through Annularity here. 37. So I mean, just a beautiful ring. Look at how long we are keeping that ring of fire. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, I'm trying to look at Peak's camera here. Not really catching any of the beads, at least with our camera, because I mean, you need a telescope camera to see something that far, that close. But I mean, this is just about as nice as it gets. And isn't it amazing, with only about 9% of the sun's rays making it down, how bright it is? I remember being in Carbondale, all right, for the total back in 2017, and we got this little cloud that happened to work its way over at the time of totality, and I was just like, oh God, it's such a bummer. And it moved away just in time to see the diamond ring and catch a little bit of that totality as it was moving away. So just an awesome sight, guys. Just an awesome sight to be a part of. But the darkness versus annual and totality is completely different, all right? You see the temperature drop, sure. It's a little bit different in the summer because the heat from the ground comes up, but in this case, this time of the year where the air is a lot drier, you're gonna see that temperature drop, and we've seen a couple of degrees down so far. It may even be a little bit cooler than that. So guys, looks like as I'm looking at this picture, we are starting to just come out of that perfect ring a little bit. You can see kind of the southern part, if you will, just starting to get a little bit dimmer as we're starting to move back toward partial. Roswell, New Mexico. Let's take a live look at that picture. Let's see. They should be right in the meat of this thing right now. Yep. Same. Very, very similar to what we have. So just coming out of Annularity a little bit. They've still got it officially because you can still see the complete ring. But, you know, obviously there's more sun on the bottom than there is on the north side. And so just starting to see that sun again come a little bit brighter as we're moving toward the out time, if you will, of Annularity. But remember, you've still got, you know, another hour and a half here on the back end to enjoy this partial eclipse if you didn't catch it yet. So we're going to get out of this whole thing at about 12:09 p.m. Mountain Time. But just an awesome sight and something awesome to be a part of here today in Albuquerque, along with the 51st annual balloon fiesta with, oh my gosh, at least 100,000 people. And the fact that it's college football Saturday, if you think about the big house in Michigan, holds about 108,000 fans. We held about 100,000 here in Albuquerque today as we're enjoying this. So again, still in Annularity, guys. Still in Annularity here in Roswell. So incredible stuff. So we're just coming out of it now, which is about right on schedule, just getting ready to come out of it. You can see how dark the bottom side is as the moon is passing now, you know, just to our east. All right, it's heading down toward Alex Wilson in San Antonio, and it's going to be interesting to see where she is as they head toward Annularity as well. All right, Alex, I hope it's as beautiful for you as it was for us up here in Albuquerque. Over to you. Take it away, darling.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you got to see it, especially after Carbondale last time. But yeah, we've gotten the partial, so we did see a nice break in the cloud cover. We finally have gotten to see it, so that's good. Oh, sorry, go ahead. All right, maybe I lost him. Okay, anyway, but he really wanted to see it. He missed it last time, so I'm really glad he got to enjoy it there in Albuquerque. We've been kind of doing some fun experiments here as we've gotten the sunshine back out. So again, remember, those clouds were holding tough for a little bit at the beginning of our partial eclipse, but now we've had a lot of fun. I want to bring in my friend Alex Young. Come on in here. Heliophysicist. He is my brightest friend, both literally and figuratively, because you've got your sunshine shirt on, your eclipse shoes. But
that's right.
We're psyched. So we've been doing the colander experiment so we can actually see the slivers. What have you been excited about thus far? Has anything surprised you today?
Nothing. Well, I've been nervous about the clouds, absolutely, but starting to see the shadows get really sharp is fun. I like that part. Yeah. So as we're getting closer and closer, it's getting more and more focused, and we're getting sharper and sharper shadows.
Yeah. So instead of me being like this really tall, long person,
that's right.
Like, it looks
sort of
like
this like anticipation with that, and then actually looking with the colander and seeing the little crescents start to come in. I'm excited. I haven't seen an annular eclipse during annularity, only partial. So I'm excited because I don't know what to expect.
Oh, I love that. And for a heliophysicist to say, I don't know what to expect during this is kind of like mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes science exciting is the questions. What are we going to see? So I'm really psyched.
Okay, and we've got, what, 11 minutes?
Yeah,
No, 10 minutes
10
now
minutes.
before it starts,
Yeah.
12 minutes before it peaks. You're going to be watching it with us. By the way, Mark Zastro from Astronomy Magazine, he's also going to be watching it with us, so hopefully you'll join us and check it out. But expecting the temperature to drop a little bit. Temperature has been perfect out here today.
It's been fantastic.
Because we were here yesterday, we were sweating a little
bit hot yesterday.
We were a little sweaty. You know, we know San Antonio has been so hot this year. Everybody's been talking about that. Even yesterday, highs were up around 90. So today, with that wind, the clouds obviously hanging out a little bit, but temperatures have been really comfortable. So we're here at the Scobie Education Center and Planetarium. We've seen tons of people. So you're here on vacation, but we've got a lot of like experts here that are talking as well and teaching us about it. The Celestron telescope, by the way, for those of you watching at home, if you're not in the path of annularity, if you've got cloud cover, if you've always wanted to see this as well, just like Alex, we're going to be bringing you that Celestron camera, and I know our directors are going to be bringing it up here even as I'm talking. We've also got a live look at what it looks like here at the Scobie Education Center. There are tons of people out here because remember, it wasn't just people here from San Antonio that came out. A lot of people traveled to San Antonio, whether it was Alex or we met some friends from New York this morning. So people have come in from out of town banking on that lack of cloud cover, and it does look like things are going to cooperate because I see a lot of clear blue sky over us. So again, we've got 9 minutes till we start annularity. We're going to bring it again with our experts. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
SC Johnson.
These are the people who help you stay well, searching lower prices and brands you love on the shelves, behind the counter or in the aisles. Healthier's better when it happens together. CVS Pharmacy. Healthier happens together.
It's just not right. Nah, I need to try something new.
You gonna quit rap for a triangle?
I gotta do me, Missy.
America has a case of triangle fever.
Jack Harlow did it again.
Ting, ting, ting.
Doritos, try another angle.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tyrvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tyrvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tyrvaya.
Your dog is the one you wanted. You want what's best for them. So, ask your vet about new NexGard Plus. It's one-and-done monthly protection from fleas and ticks, plus heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms, all in a delicious beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. From the maker of #1 vet-recommended HeartGuard Plus, NexGard Plus, the one you want for one-and-done protection.
We've got questions about Medicare plans.
Well, we've got a lot of answers. How can I help?
Well, for starters, do you have a Medicare plan I can actually afford?
How about a plan with a $0 monthly premium?
Well, that's a great start. What other benefits can we get?
Things like dental, vision, and hearing. But let me help you pick the plan that's right for you.
Ooh.
Don't wait. Call 1-888-65-AETNA to get answers to your questions and pick a plan that's right for you. And let's make healthier happen.
I always felt the rhythm, and I've been traveling the world playing music.
until the pain was too much. I went to the emergency room at New York Presbyterian. They connected me with specialists who discovered I had pyogenic cholangitis. My liver was failing.
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
On the highway, the action is non-stop.
I don't know how many accidents there's been already.
Big tires, heavy metal, insane wrecks.
Bringing out all the big guns for this one.
A whole lot of recovery.
Oh, this is a real mess.
Jaw-dropping rescue. Do you have what it takes?
The Weather Channel Road Warriors Week. All week long, starting Monday at 8, 7 Central. Only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 51 degrees with rainy conditions. Today, periods of rain. High 53. Rainfall around a half an inch. Locally heavy rainfall possible. Tonight, rain. Low 48. Rainfall near a quarter of an inch. Sunday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 59. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back into our continuing coverage of this eclipse. You are looking live at Odessa, Texas, where they are reaching the end of annularity, and we are about to start here in San Antonio. So again, we are truly tracking this coast to coast from Oregon, where unfortunately they had a little bit more cloud cover. Chris Bruin got it in Ely, Nevada. Of course, Cantori just experienced it in Albuquerque. Here in Odessa, they have enjoyed it. And in San Antonio, Texas, it has been palpable, right? So we had so many clouds this morning, and then all of a sudden here, as we have approached, what time is it? It's 11:49. Our annularity starts at 11:52, and sure enough, there is literally not a cloud in the path of this. So really good news for us. I've got my friends here with us again, Alex Young and Mark Zastro from Astronomy Magazine. We're super excited. So you guys have been looking at the shadows leading up to this, which has been super cool. And everybody has remarked that here as we approach annularity, it kind of feels like you put your sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So talk about the shadows, because that was like a really interesting conversation you guys were having. They're a little bit, we talked about how they're sharper, but they're also blurry in spots.
A little bit, yeah. And now they're becoming even sharper because the moon is covering more and more of the sun and making it smaller. It's becoming more like a point source. And here, if you look at these shadows here, I mean, now they're very sharp. Just a few minutes ago, they were actually quite fuzzy because the horns of the crescent were, shining light from different directions and creating a sort of blurring effect.
Yeah, they were kind of sharp on one side and blurry on the other. And then also you can see the crescent, which is almost a ring, where the telescope has making little pinholes. And then if we do a colander.
Oh yeah, this has been fascinating,
so we
because
can start to see it here too.
You can actually see the crescents in. So like, science is so cool, right? I mean, look at all this. So I don't want to hog you guys from this, and we're going to watch it together, but like, what are we seeing right now? So again, it looks like we're starting to get close to, of course, our annularity, and we've got just almost that ring at this point.
Yeah, it's incredible how you can see already how much smaller the moon is than the sun for this particular eclipse.
And it looks almost like an earring now. There's a little, there's a little bit that's still left, but we're getting really close to this ring. And as I was mentioning earlier, I've you know, I've been to lots of eclipses, and I've been to an annular eclipse, but only in the partial part.
Right.
And so I haven't experienced an annular eclipse.
Right.
So I'm so excited because I don't know what to expect.
I love that for you. So we're going to let them, of course, they're going to be mic'd up here with us, and I'm going to be asking them questions, but we've also got all of the fans here. So we've got so many people here on the VIP deck. We've got so many people down below, and I think for a little while, everybody was very, very nervous because those clouds, they were being rude. But we've got it cleared up. Again, clear skies. By the way, our Celestron camera is, or telescope. All right.
I think I can.
You can hear the crowd.
I can see some Bailey's beads.
I can see some Bailey's beads.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
There it
explain
is.
what the Bailey's beads are.
So
Alex.
we're seeing the valleys on the moon. The sunlight is actually shining through the valleys on the moon.
Oh, that is so
wow.
cool. So you get those kind of little sparkles.
Yeah, yeah.
Just for a few seconds
Just
there,
for
but
a
I felt I
brief
could
bit.
absolutely see it just with the naked eye with solar filters.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
This is
Wow.
really incredible. So Alex, like, okay, this is your first time. Now,
This is
what,
my
what do you think?
Oh my God. It's just like
I mean, I'm not a heliophysicist, and
there's
I think this is awesome.
giant hole in the sun.
Right.
It's just fantastic. Wow. This is so cool. And then I'm looking with solar viewing binoculars, and it's so clear.
It definitely feels, it's very different than a total eclipse, though, because
Absolutely.
obviously it's still daylight out. So, Mark, we still feel like the sun is out. It just does. It feels like you maybe put down the sun visor or your
That's right.
sunglasses are on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the amount of sunlight that we're getting right now is about 2% of what you would normally have from the sun. What I like to compare that to if you were on a moon of Jupiter, you'd get about that much sunlight because you're so much further away from the sun.
Right.
So we can say we're like on Jupiter today. Jupiter's moon.
But what's so crazy, though, is the fact that we still have to wear these solar glasses because the sun is just so bright.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right, and you have to use the special
You've got to use the
binoculars
special
and all that.
binoculars.
So this is moving so crazy fast, but we still get to enjoy this annularity for 4 minutes. But the actual moon shadow is moving ridiculously fast.
Right, it's moving more than 1,000 miles an hour, and it's just racing across the U.S. and giving us this amazing 4 minutes.
So I love a good total eclipse, but there is something kind of awesome about this. I kind of like keeping the little ring on the it's like a perfect little hole punch there.
It really is, and then because we have no clouds, it's just so clear.
Oh, Mark's pointing out that your
colander.
Your colander is really cool now.
It's making like these loops.
It kind of looks like doodles. You know,
my
like when you're
gosh.
bored in class and you draw little doodles, like little squigglies. So now we've got full-on little squigglies in our colander.
That is so cool.
What about you,
That's
Mark?
incredible. Oh, look, there's rings.
Oh, yeah.
Right by the telescope, it's making rings now. Okay, we're getting
almost
close.
Reaching third contact. So we may see more Bailey's beads again as the mountains of the moon make, disappear off the disk of the sun before the valleys do.
And third contact is going to be when the moon starts to get to the other side, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
The ring is broken.
Oh, that's going to be sad. I don't want the ring to get broken.
Do you want to look with these glasses?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you. Wow. This is awesome. Wait, I don't want to do you want I don't want to
No, you go right ahead. I'm actually enjoying looking with the smaller glasses now because
God, it's beautiful.
It's just this amazing hole in this ring in the sky. I mean, like you said, the total eclipse is so amazing, but this is such a spectacular view.
Well, and you pointed out that in the total, okay, so here I can see it is starting to edge a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So at what point do you think we would maybe start to see those beads?
Just about now.
Okay.
Just about now.
Just about now.
They're not as bright as you would see during total eclipse, but...
That's right, there it is.
Yep.
Very cool.
Little tiny...
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
There you are.
Yep.
All right, guys, so we got a few Bailey's beads. Paul Goodlow, you are in Corpus Christi. What do you have?
We have the beginning of annularity here as well, Alex. I'm so glad that you had that break in the cloud cover. We're seeing a little thin high clouds, but it's not stopping us from using the glasses. In fact, you know, we're seeing this. Let's go to the other camera from San Antonio so we can put our filter on, and then we'll come back in about 5 seconds. Got to show you. Okay, let's go ahead and put the filter on the camera, and we're going to kind of tilt up towards the sun, and we can see the beginning of annularity up here. So that's from San Antonio. Do we have our... We're going to get our camera up here, and we think we're about, 90 seconds away from having the annularity. So having that ring of fire here in San Antonio. So actually in Corpus Christi. We're at Mustang Island. There we go. That's from our camera right here. So boom, there we have it. We have our ring of fire. 90% of the sun is covered now by the moon. And we had a cold front came through this morning, and it's cooler, drier air. But that drier air, you can feel it cool down quickly. The whole team here on Mustang Island, we've noticed our temperature has dropped the last 20 minutes or so because 90% of that energy from the sun is being obscured. It looks like, you know, it's maybe an hour before sunset, but it's kind of this eerie glow here without the filter on the ground. But that is an amazing view. And the next time we'll see this, well, it's not in our lifetime here in Corpus Christi. We will see or get close to the next total solar eclipse coming up in 6 months. But now we're seeing that perfect ring of fire, 11:58 Central Time, right here on Mustang Island State Park. It's been sold out. We do see some people out here, but perhaps today's wind has dampened the crowd down a bit. It's been windy and cool all day long, but yeah, get your glasses on, look to the sky, and enjoy. Even with the cloud cover, it's still not safe to look without the glasses. This is a phenomenon that I'm very happy that I can see. I do feel for our colleague Jen Carfagna, who missed this earlier, but we have the longest time in angularity here in Mustang Island, 5 minutes and 1 second. 1 second of annularity. So we're going to see this the longest here. Then the moon, the shadow, continues to move across the Gulf and then onto the Yucatan Peninsula. So this is where it exits the U.S. You can still see it kind of slowly pull away from San Antonio. If you're there in central Texas, you can still see part of the annularity. It's about to end there. We still have about another 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes here, of that ring of fire. Yeah, the first one we've seen since 2012 here in the U.S. And the next total eclipse is happening in about 6 months, April 8th, 2024. Once again, Texas, specifically Kerrville, Texas, in the path of today's annularity and also in the path of April's path of totality. So, yeah, it stretches from central Texas up through Austin, through Dallas, even Little Rock, Arkansas as well. So make your plans now to see that. Well, maybe a twice-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We just had one back in 2017, but this is a sight to behold, both live in person as well as on TV here in the Weather Channel. We're bringing you live coverage from where it started in Oregon to what's ending here in the U.S. Off the Texas Gulf Coast. An amazing view, and wow, it is now noon, and we still have another maybe just under 3 minutes of the total ring of fire, and it is quite the sight to see. You know, we got to keep this filter on here because that's our last live view, but just here in person we are seeing just kind of an eerie kind of dulling of the sunshine here. Again, we're talking, it is straight up noon, the middle of the day, and it looks like it's about maybe 6:45 or so, and it's far cooler than it was when we got out here this morning. Yeah, we're starting to see this slow beginning of the end of that ring of fire, moving towards what, 12:01, just after 12:01 now. So an amazing sight here to see. The next ring of fire in 16 years, 2039. the next time we'll have the Ring of Fire annular eclipse move across the U.S. So Texas, the last of 8 states in this path, 6.6 million Americans in direct path, and we do know that millions more had a short drive to get into this, and it's definitely something that you want to see if you can. We only have a couple more minutes of this here on Mustang Island in Corpus, but plan for the next total solar eclipse. We've been saying this all morning long, now in the afternoon, April 8th, 2024, and I believe that also will be right in the middle of the day. So that's that's where you see the most dramatic changes, when you have the sun in the sky and then it goes dark for a few minutes and then the sun comes back. And looks like that Ring of Fire is just now starting to reach the bottom of the sun. Yeah. So it looks like we're slowly ending this now, but even looking through my glasses, it's quite the sight to behold. Yeah, it certainly, hands down, today this has been the greatest show on Earth, all thanks to the moon. And Jen, I was in your shoes a little while ago. We had some cloud cover here. I wasn't quite sure whether we could actually see this, but Mother Nature cooperated with us. So I guess 4 out of 5 of our shots got to see this, and I feel for you. I feel for your crew. I feel for all the folks up there in the Klamath area, but. We got another one coming up in 6 months, so I'm saying we got a chance, Jen.
I'm going to definitely chase that one. But Paul, we got a partial here, and so you should have heard us as we started to see some breaks in the clouds, and you could see a little bit. Actually, with your camera, your phone was the best way to see it at that point. And then all of a sudden, the whole cloud deck just completely cleared. You can see our partial eclipse right now. We're getting through that third contact, so we still have about 40 minutes left to go of partial. And I'll tell you, it is still quite a sight. You see the big orange round ball that is the sun, and then you see the moon that is exiting its annularity, or the eclipse, really. So, sort of a little chunk taken out. Now, here at Eclipse Fest, it's gotten a little loud, as you can hear. Tonight, Smash Mouth is headlining the show for Eclipse Fest. So, sounds like they're getting the sound tested right now. It's a bit loud out here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But I'll tell you what, I'm so excited that at least I got to see the partial. And this is really what people across the country got to see. We focus so much on the path of annularity, and of course that is the big show with the Ring of Fire that we saw in Ely, Nevada, and in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and in San Antonio and Corpus Christi. But here in Fort Klamath, like the rest of the country, we only got to see the partial eclipse because we had too much clouds for the first contact of partial, for the annularity and the Ring of Fire, but now finally we're getting to see a little bit of it. So at least it's redeemed itself somewhat. It's a beautiful day here, as it turns out now that the clouds have cleared and temperatures have started warming up. When we got through that point of annularity, even though we couldn't see it and couldn't see the Ring of Fire, we were able to see some of it, or feel or experience some of the other senses that you get from an eclipse. We saw the skies darkening. We sort of felt just the whole ambient temperature drop. At least felt like at least a degree, maybe even 2. There was a noticeable difference, but certainly it was that darkness that set in, and it was very notable when it happened, and just as notable as we were coming out of the annularity, and you got more sunlight filtering through, and it made a big difference, just brightening up the sky. It's amazing how how much change that 90% can make, because we had 90% at annularity. Even though we couldn't see it, we had 90% of the sun that was covered by the moon. And so now again we're getting back through that partial. I'll get another little glimpse to see where we're at right now. It's quite the sight. And when all of the clouds cleared and everybody could put their eclipse glasses on, and there's an announcement made, you heard the cheers go up from everyone here. So at least getting to see the partial eclipse in Fort Klamath in Oregon. Now, as we look across the country and watch for clouds, let's jump back down to San Antonio and check in with Alex Wilson. Alex, did you have any concerns with clouds?
Oh, Oh, yeah. You know, we totally felt your pain because for a little while there, around like 10:30, 11 o'clock, it was feeling a little precarious. We had a pretty decent cloud deck. In fact, we didn't actually see the start of the partial. We got little hints and bites here and there, but it really wasn't until about 15 to 10 minutes away from Annularity that we actually did get almost perfectly clear skies. And we do have more clouds coming back in, so the cloud cover really helped us out here. And we've been, you know, having fun with science experience. If you're like, why are you holding a colander, Alex Wilson? Well, it's because, again, as we look at the shadows here on our colander, we can still see, if I step here, you can still see the crescents in. So I've hung out with some very smart people today and learned a lot. Of course, Mark Zastro from Astronomy Magazine and Alex Young, our heliophysicist. What were your impressions? I'll let you go first.
You know, I had never seen an annular before either. I'd only seen a total eclipse, and this is a really compelling visual experience because you're not watching something disappear. You're actually watching something appear. You're watching a ring form.
Yeah.
You know, as those what I call the horns of the crescent were coming around.
Yeah.
It was an incredible spectacle.
It felt like a lot of movement, and and maybe it's because we've always sold this annular as the supporting act or the lead up to the total. I know everybody gets super psyched about the total, but I feel like it was actually really awesome.
It was amazing, and I've actually spent more time, actually thanks to Mark pointing some of this out, but I've spent more time focusing on the shadows. And I find shadows fascinating. I mean, I don't really fully understand how it works. I mean, I spent a lot of time understanding light and point sources of light, but not shadows.
Yeah.
So this has been an opportunity to be an observer and just look at and see what kinds of weird things are happening that I'm not used to.
I think I was surprised, too, by the light. You know, I think it's so dark during a total eclipse, and we definitely turned down the lights, but it still felt like it was daytime. And now it feels like we're right back to it, even though we're still in that partial.
Well, one of the things that I think is really exciting, and I would guess this is part of enjoying weather, is it is something that we all can do. We can all be a scientist. We can all observe these situations that are not the normal, and it's really exciting to be able to experience this.
Science in its purest form.
Absolutely. You know? This is the most basic kind of science we could possibly have.
Yeah, you put a bunch of scientists around, the three of us, and we're still like, oh, wait, look at that, or oh, did you notice that? And it really does allow you to kind of, make new discoveries. Right. What about, so what are your takeaways here for Astronomy Mag? What's the headline for today?
That thousands of people in San Antonio were wowed by this event.
And very, very lucky.
Absolutely,
yes. We were all
clouds cleared right at the perfect moment. So it wound up being fantastic.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. By the way, let's give them a view of what's happening here at the Scobie Science and Education Center. Austin behind the camera, thank you so much. So we've got, obviously, it's Texas, a mariachi band, and we've got the crowd still out here enjoying. Everybody's got their solar glasses. They've been selling T-shirts. I mean, again, I'll be honest. The mood was a little bit nervous before we got close to Annularity because the clouds were out. But the clouds truly cleared. The food trucks are out. Again, the music is playing, so everybody's really happy. The Celestron telescope got a great view, and you've been seeing that here on the Weather Channel. So, again, everything was perfect here in San Antonio. I know everybody was really happy. And again, they're in that path for the total eclipse, so we'll see if our friends come back. And we're going to continue to talk to them throughout the show. I want to get it back to Jim in Albuquerque. Jim, you got it as well. We're having a really good time. I'm sure the balloons are out, and you guys are still having a great party, too.
Absolutely. I'm kind of shocked, Alex, to be honest with you. I would say about 2/3 of the expected 100,000 have left here. But if you were one of those 2/3 or even one of the other 1/3 that's left, and you've got one of these, this is your day. If you're a pin collector, this is the pin. I mean, look at this thing. All right? You can go in and out of Annularity with the pin. How about that? All right? This is one of the hardest pins to get to right in through here. Another thing, too, since Chris had the leaves and the trees and Alex had the colander, I've got this. So we're going to be able to show the actual eclipse. So let me set this up. There it is right there, Brad. So just zoom right in on that. Now, again, remember, we're just at partial, so this doesn't look as good as it would have. We only got about 1/3 of the moon shadow left that's going to go on in through here. But it's better than nothing. You can see on the top of that where we've got just a little bit of that left. All right, I want to bring in Dr. Kelly Cork. She is the NASA Eclipse Program Manager. And when she gave me her title, I was like, I should probably get a microphone. What is that?
The Eclipse Program Manager is really setting up the agency for success. We focus on the safety, the public engagement, and the science of the eclipse.
And how did this work out for you guys in terms of, do you consider this like a success?
This was a huge success. Folks were safely viewing the eclipse. They were having fun. They were inspired. We were engaging with a lot of different people here and across the path. It was a great day.
Now, it was interesting because we had a few of your scientists on, and they were talking about some of the experiments. And that, just the fact that you get to study the ionosphere, which is where a lot of us, remember and know we see the Aurora Borealis, but you get to study it at a different state when it's being blocked by the moon a little bit, coming down toward the Earth.
Right, when it's being blocked by the moon, there is this sudden shift and waves that possibly happen during that area, and it's something like when the ionosphere collapses in terms of radio signals not being able to get through. So that's why it's really interesting to understand this and study it and see why it happens and how to predict it and how to sometimes mitigate it if we need to do that communication.
So looking forward a little bit to April 2024 with the total. Anything planned?
We have many things planned, and again, safety is always our #1 priority, so we're getting folks glasses and indirect viewing methods, but then we're also going to try to do a really diverse audience. We're trying to reach as many folks as possible to make them understand that they belong in science and they belong to understand this natural phenomenon and being able to experience it.
And it really is special to see it. It's hard to put into words, isn't it?
It is. It was very hard to put into words because I just kept thinking that this is such a special place. There's nowhere else in the solar system where we have this type of alignment. So we're so special being here on Earth that we can actually see this.
Gosh, I never really thought of that.
Yeah, there's nowhere else in the solar system, and we don't know of any other place in the universe where this happens.
Dr. Cork, thank you for talking to me. That was awesome. Congratulations on a great day. Obviously a success for NASA and all you guys are trying to do. So more things planned, as you heard, for 2024 in April when we get into the total eclipse. And the big question is, how will the weather cooperate for that? Well, it cooperated here today in the Duke City of Albuquerque. 51st Annual Hot Air Balloon Festival, coupled with a Ring of Fire, a perfect one for everyone to see.
California, now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. Say what you say, but give me that bomb beat from Dre. Let me serenade the streets of LA. From Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area and back down. Cali is where they put they mag down. Give me
The new 2024 Jeep Wrangler is now available and starting at $33,990 MSRP. Visit Jeep.com for new inventory available near you.
With the Venture X card from Capital One, you earn 2 times miles on every purchase.
The noise canceling. You're being too loud. Good choice. My lucky number.
Plus, earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel. What's in your wallet?
Teeth sensitivity is so common. Immediately it feels like somebody's poking directly on the nerve. I recommend Sensodyne. Sensodyne toothpaste goes inside the tooth and calms the nerve down. And my patients say, doc, it really works.
Make your dream car a reality. Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned vehicles are rigorously inspected to live up to the highest of expectations.
It's just not right. Nah, I need to try something new.
You gonna quit rap for a triangle?
I gotta do me, Missy.
America has a case of triangle fever.
Jack Harlow did it again.
Ting, ting, ting.
Doritos, try another angle.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich is the richness of the pimento cheese. When I took a first bite, I was like, go, go, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go chicken, go, go, go get it.
Your go-to leggings. One yogurty smear.
6 sweaty miles to nowhere. Arm & Hammer plus OxyClean with odor blasters. Triple power action blasts away stains and obliterates odors. For long-lasting freshness that's priced right. More power to you.
Is someone trying to steal your Butterfinger this Halloween? Call the BFI. No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger.
You found the one. Now find a deal on their dream ring at Zales. This weekend only. Save 20 to 40% on engagement and wedding rings. At Zales.
We're bringing out all the big guns for this one.
The truck stops here. The Weather Channel Road Warriors Week. All week long, starting Monday at 8/7 Central. Only on.
At some point, we all learn the value of money. The promise it holds. The good it can do. The security it can provide. At Ridgewood, we want to help you to continue to learn with short online courses covering key financial skills.
The course about how to retire early. Total winner. Wow.
Check out our free courses at ridgewoodbank.com.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing, plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $1,000 cash allowance on this Silverado. See your local Chevy dealer.
2640.
Currently in our area, 51 degrees with rainy conditions. Today, periods of rain. High 53. Rainfall around a half an inch. Locally heavy rainfall possible. Tonight, a steady rain this evening. Showers continuing overnight. Low 48. Rainfall near a quarter of an inch. Sunday, partly cloudy. High 59. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Weather Channel, now available to everyone.
This is epic!
Trusted live coverage when it matters most is now yours to stream with the Weather Channel TV app, real-time radar, and maps that let you track all the action. Exclusive storm coverage to keep you informed, landfall cameras, and live interactive chats with our weather experts, and so much more. There's never been a better way for everyone to watch the Weather Channel. Available now on these platforms. Download now to start your free 7-day trial.
Welcome back to the Weather Channel's coverage of this annular eclipse. Meteorologist Paul Goodlow in Mustang Island, the Corpus Christi area here in Texas. And we had over 5 minutes of annularity, 5 minutes and 1 second to be exact. And we're still seeing a partial eclipse here, but it's brightened up. But during that 5 minutes, it got a lot darker. It even got a little cooler in the area. So we're going to show you what's going on overhead. But right now, we're going to take you out towards Odessa, Texas. We have a camera there. They were in annularity a little while ago. So let's put the filter on our lens here and we're going to tilt up, and you can see what's happening in Odessa. And then we're going to come back here to the Corpus Christi area, and we can still see it looks like a crescent moon, but technically through that filter, that is the sun. You look at the live view here from Mustang Island, and still quite the sight in the sky here. We had 5 minutes of that perfect ring of fire. This was the longest duration of that ring of fire anywhere here in the United States, and we really, really enjoyed it. And we were concerned because we had a cold front that came through this morning, and while we definitely enjoyed the drop in humidity and temperature, it also brought some cloud cover when you still have that humidity a little higher up in the sky and the cool air coming through, the condensing cloud cover That has pushed off a little bit. We had the same concern up towards San Antonio a little while ago this morning. That cleared out as well. So much of South and Central Texas had a great view of this. There was a little while, actually, we had thick enough cloud cover where our solar lenses weren't working because there wasn't enough light coming through, but you can almost see it filtered through a thick cloud layer of that eclipse. So a lot of people got to enjoy this. 6.6 million Americans indirectly in this path of that annularity, and it was quite the sight to see. And we are actually feeling a little bit warmer now. It's amazing the energy that we lost when we had 90% of that sun covered. That is truly amazing, and it's fascinating for us kind of weather geeks because we do know that the sun is our great driver of the weather here, because the sun is what comes down and heats up the ground, then the ground or things on the ground, then that heats the air, which then starts to rise, and it causes all the vertical motion in the atmosphere, which we describe as weather. And also, by the way, our wind dropped a little bit as well. With that drop in that energy from the sun, you don't have as much change in the heating, so our wind died off a little bit. It's starting to pick up a little bit more, but it's been a breezy day for sure. All right, let's head up towards Ely, Nevada, where Chris Bruin is. And Chris, you too had that enjoyment of that annularity, although I think you had maybe 90 seconds less than I did. It's amazing how long 5 minutes feels like, but I'm pretty sure you quite the sight you guys had there in Nevada.
Yeah, Paul. It went quick. We didn't get as long. We were at 3 minutes and 43 seconds, so you had a good solid minute and a half more than we did. But it was an experience, and as fast as the moon is moving, it's crazy how it just looks like it parked over the sun for a couple of minutes. One of the coolest things that we experienced here was that dimmed lighting and the peak fall colors. I mean, the trees are brilliant yellow, the skies are blue, very little cloud cover whatsoever. You could have had better forecasts, and the temperature actually dropped 6 degrees. That was the official measurement at the Ely airport that our weather producer Jill's back home in studio was informing me about. To get that kind of a drop on an annular solar eclipse is impressive, and that will probably be one of the higher drops we'll see, because you got to have a dry climate to see that kind of fluctuate in temperature. We'll also sit pretty high in elevation. We're at a high valley that sits at the base of some big tall mountains, so that cold air drains down into the valley. And believe it or not, Ely is actually one of the coldest cities in the lower 48, with an average of 215 nights a year below freezing. We got below freezing last night. The temperature went from 45 just before annularity and then dropped to 39 during annularity, and it did get cold. Now, if it were a total solar eclipse, that drop would have been a lot more, but the shadows, the dimmed lighting, it was a spectacle that thousands here in Ely got to experience. If you are curious and want to find more coverage of the solar eclipse here across the U.S., be sure to watch our streaming app. We've got continuous feeds as this is continuing to push through Central and even South America is where it's headed to next, and more behind the scenes and even replays of what we experience here from Oregon to Nevada and also all the way back through New Mexico and Texas. More continuing coverage, especially getting reactions, coming up next.
For everyone who's endured the bad seat, finally, sweet, sweet redemption. The Lexus TX. 3-row luxury that treats every seat like the best seat.
Nothing scary about Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the #1 longest lasting AA battery.
AI has the power to automate. But if it's using untrusted data, can you trust the results? Your business doesn't just need AI, it needs the right AI for your business.